Carolina comes in with a record of 14-5. Florida State watches North Carolina win the opening tip. The Noles in the white. Tar Heels in the Carolina blue with the opening possession. With Navarre trying to drive it off Bonner, had to kick it back out. Elevating for the jumper in the first points of our game from Rania Kelly.
Well, if you watched their previous game against Miami, that is no surprise there. Picking up where she left off, an outstanding performance for Rania Kelly. 24 points in that game, career high.
This is Shavers who sends it back out. Rania Bonner, senior from Fremont, California. Shavers into the lane. Trying to loop it into Kubek. He hit the rim, bounces out of bounds, and will stay at this end of the floor. Tierra Cruz, Eric Bruton, Jeff Wooten are officials for this afternoon's game.
And in watching shoot around this morning, you can tell that the drive is something that North Carolina wants to stop. They're not going over ball screens. They're staying off of them so that they can prevent Florida State from going all the way to the rim, which is something they want to do.
Let's look at Brooke Wyckoff in her 5th season as the head coach, took over for the legend Sue Semrau. An incredible player in her days here at Florida.
That's Alicia Barnes. She's a history protector.
This is definitely the big league.
That's what this is.
20 from Florida State, and that is exactly what happened. So we've cleared that up. We're at the Tucker Center. Facility opened up back in 1981. Looking fantastic on a Sunday afternoon in the ACC. 7 games on the slate. We're so glad that you're with us. Bonner with the hesitation. Move to the rim.
Yeah, another player coming off a terrific performance in her last game. 22 points against Pitt. And I love the hezi. Gets some space and goes to the rim.
That was a career high, 22 points. She was 9 of 10 from the free throw line. The 9 makes from the line, also a career high for Bonner. 3-pointer out of the corner. That is on target for Kelly.
Rania Kelly has not been playing full go this season. She is now, as of Christmas, she's been playing in practices. She's 100%. I'll tell you what, if this is her 100%, I want more of this kind of Rania Kelly. Last game and this game to start it off.
Her last game against Miami, 24 points. That was a career high for her as she pumped in the 3 and runs it up for North Carolina. On the break, Knowles able to get back defensively. Grant sends it cross court, and a 3-second violation against the Tar Heels will give the ball back to Florida State.
Yeah, so here's the hesitation off the ball screen, gets the defender coming at her. Bonner goes all the way in, and then here's the kick. One extra pass, I love that, to Rania Kelly in the corner, knocks it down.
North Carolina, a good 3-point shooting team, 34% of the season. That is 3rd in the ACC. Florida State is high volume when it comes to 3-pointers. They average 26 attempts per game, so we'll keep an eye on that. That is the most of any team in the conference.
Yeah, they lead the conference, and that was an area of emphasis for North Carolina and their shoot-around this morning as well. Always finding players on the 3-point line, especially in transition.
Kubek got double-teamed, wanted a foul, didn't get it. North Carolina in transition, and it's going to be a carry as the ball was coming up. Lanie Grant turns it back over to Florida State.
Going back to that last possession, though, no surprise, India Navarre coming in with the double, takes the ball away, gets it into North Carolina's hands. You watch that player right there, number 24 in blue. Her defense is phenomenal. She never takes a play off.
That's 4 turnovers in a row now for North Carolina. Florida State trying to capitalize. Late in the shot clock. Shavers had it go halfway down and bounce out. Where are the physics on that shot as it popped out?
Especially with the home rim.
Toomey the entry pass. Harris in traffic. Spun off the rim, whistle, and a foul coming up.
Well, a lot of attention early on that post-entry pass. You saw Soleil Williams coming in for the double, and somehow Harris stays strong with it, goes up.
Kubek whistled for the foul. What an addition she has been for this Florida State team. Played for Maryland the last 2 years. Maryland went to the Sweet 16 last year, and Kubek was a part of that roster.
Already a 1,000-point scorer while she was at Maryland. Played with Towson before that.
Your favorite board games are now your favorite game shows. All new season of Trivial Pursuit, hosted by LeVar Burton, and Scrabble, hosted by Craig Ferguson. Return with all new episodes this Thursday, 8, 7 Central. It's right here on the CW.
Yes, please.
Trivial Pursuit and Scrabble.
Oh my gosh, those are two of like my favorite games.
And ACC women's basketball.
My kids are like gonna ask me when can we get this on, and that's a 10-second violation. Wow.
Soleil Williams was bringing it up and did not beat the count.
Those are situations that Coach Brooke Wyckoff just wants back, right? Already some turnovers within the offense, but then to have that kind of turnover is just a dagger.
So the ball back to North Carolina with its 14-5 record. Coach Wyckoff, 5th season. She's 86 and 51. NCAA tournament a season ago, won 24 games, 13-5 in the ACC. They got the double bye at the ACC tournament.
Yeah, she is used to high success.
Which, by the way, at the ACC tournament, the team that eliminated Florida State last year, these North Carolina Tar Heels. So there might be a score to settle this afternoon, Kelly Deo.
Oh, there certainly is. And then Florida State picking up their first ACC victory. They were ready to play.
Florida State has possession and has 10 seconds to go across the midcourt stripe, which they successfully do with Williams. So hopefully that's the last bit of clerical attention we have to pay to this game, and we can get back to the action. Bowles ran into a double team. Feisty D from North Carolina. Gonna be a foul. Kelly got a piece of Bowles.
Up until that foul, I know that Courtney Bankart was probably so pleased with the way her team defended that play. They went over that time and time again in practice, how they would defend those high ball screens, and they did it to perfection until that last foul.
7th season for Courtney Bankart. To the Sweet 16 last year for North Carolina. Won 29 games in conference play. That's now 5 straight trips to the NCAA tournament. By the way, she was at Princeton for 12 years.
She did a lot of winning there, too.
They made the tournament 8 times. Princeton had never made the NCAA tournament before she took over the Tigers program, and here she is at North Carolina in her 7th year.
Tells you a little something about her coaching. I'd say she's pretty talented and has found her niche.
And there's one of those long rebounds I'm talking about. As Harris was able to run it down. Trying to get it inside to Toomey. She lost the handle. North Carolina keeps it alive. The miss from Navarre. Still fighting for that ball.
And you gotta love the effort going after the offensive rebounds. One for Kyla Harris and then one for Toomey as she gets fouled. Navarre hanging out around there as well. You can tell it's a point of emphasis for North Carolina.
So Bonner picked up the foul for Florida State. Grant on the inbounds. 6.5 minutes to go in our opening quarter. It was the 3rd quarter against Miami that was the difference for North Carolina. Outscored them by 10 and win that game. 73-62. And from the corner, it's a 3 from Toomey.
Ciera Toomey, one of the most improved players in the ACC, hardly got many minutes in her last season and has now come in and has been dominant.
Trying to defend Kubek, and that one bounces off. Toomey got the rebound. She is the leading rebounder for this North Carolina team, almost 7 per game. She's open for another 3. That bounces out to Williams. A whistle stops play. Some activity under the hoop.
I love the look by Ciera Toomey coming back in transition. Already knocked down 1 3, trying it again. But underneath, again, just so physical down in that post as North Carolina continues to go after the offensive rebounds.
North Carolina, 3rd best as a team, 3-point shooting for the body of work so far this season. Coming in with their 14-5 record, 3-3 in conference play. Off the inbounds, it's up for grabs. Williams gets to it for Florida State. Williams trying to carve her way to the rim, and an offensive foul is called. They whistled Kubek for the offensive foul from Florida State. She is stunned, and she is headed to that bench. I'm talking with Coach Wyckoff.
And in for her is Davis. This is a player that has started throughout this season. Again, 8 different starting lineups, so a few different players for North Carolina, or for Florida State rather, have gotten starts. But Davis, a very capable inside player from junior college.
Lanie Davis trying to defend against North Carolina, poked away by Williams into the 2nd row. across the top of those courtside seats. You better pay attention if you're courtside.
Yeah, right?
Especially here at the Tucker Center. With all the action on the court. Grant trying to go baseline. Shavers, tight defense. How about the pass in tight quarters? Inside to Toomey, and what a pass.
Yeah, excellent pass, but really strong finish by Toomey. Gathered herself, went up strong against her defender.
Ciera Toomey is second on the team in scoring. And we had a couple players get tangled up, and a foul was called against Florida State. Back to North Carolina.
I'm going to try my best not to be so enthusiastic about how much I like India Navar's game. I mean, picks up a charge on that one. Her defense is solid. She, along with Toomey, two of the most improved players in the ACC, but that's just a heads-up play to stop that drive.
Foul was on Williams, who had to go to the bench. There's a turnover picked up by the Noles. Bonner runs it up. Bonner, pass, Davis had a chance at it. Bouncing around. Somehow Shavers got it back for three that was online, and now picked up by North Carolina and Kelly.
Yeah, but that's more Florida State's offense right there. They want to drive and try to get something out of it. Another turnover for North Carolina, trying to get that entry pass inside.
That was Tatum Green, who stepped to the passing lane, the sophomore from Baltimore, Maryland, and a transfer from Boston College. Bowles with a long distance attempt, pulled in by Harris. North Carolina in its last 7 games, 5-2. The last road win late December at Boston College. They dominated, won by 51 against the Eagles, 90-39. It's the largest margin of victory in an ACC game for North Carolina. Kelly, they turn it over again.
Yeah, it's turnover number 8 now for North Carolina. And pardon me, that was 7 for North Carolina, but just a poor decision making. Those are things that they're going to need to clean up against a team like Florida State.
So it was Bonner on the drive. Emma Risch is going to come into the lineup, number 12 in white for Florida State. In the 52nd all-time meeting between the teams, the Noles have won 9 of the last 11. We told you they met in the tournament last year, Greensboro, North Carolina. And North Carolina eliminated Florida State. This year we're going to Duluth, Georgia. First time since the early 1980s, the tournament outside of the Carolinas.
Yeah, and I did tell you I was alive during that period of time.
Wait, didn't you win a national championship?
I did.
In 2001?
But it certainly wasn't in the early 80s. Yes, that's exciting though. You know, I'll miss Greensboro, but I'm excited for a new venue.
And that's going to be the 49th ACC Women's Tournament. The 50th is going to Charlotte in the Spectrum Center. I mean, so many things to be enthused about in ACC Women's Basketball.
This isn't enough. Watching these incredible athletes compete against each other, that is the icing on the cake.
This is Risch. 3.5 minutes to go in the quarter. Once again, she was double teamed and tied up. Heads up play, Nyla Brooks. The arrow favors the Noles.
Yeah, and I think it's important to try to get Emma Risch going early. She's obviously just checked in the game. She was a starter for many games for this Florida State team, but she's coming off a game, no points. She was 0 for 9 from the field, 0 for 6 from 3.
Off the inbounds, it is Davis, and that's the first bucket in about 5.5 minutes for Florida State.
Yeah, and you go back to all the early turnovers by North Carolina. This could have been a much bigger lead had they been able to control the ball. But Florida State's got to feel confident about their chances early.
Davis led the team in rebounding in the win at pitch. He had 10. Green was trying to step into the shot, and she traveled and then collided with Navar. Insult to injury.
Yeah, and good job by North Carolina to be there. Here is the inbounds pass by Risch. Doesn't come down with it. Great finish by Davis inside.
Davis goes 6'6" from Perth, Australia. Prior to joining the Florida State program this year, she spent 2 years at New Mexico Junior College, was one of the top players at that level, trying to make an impact here in the ACC.
Yeah, I think this is a great fit for her at Florida State, playing for one of the best post players to ever do it at Florida State and her coach, Brooke Wyckoff.
That is a circus shot attempt. And a whistle in contact on the attempt by Elina Arnisalo from Finland.
Yeah, she looks like she may have gotten a little hurt on that drive. You hope she's okay as she attempts these free throws, but yeah, Arnisalo one of those great three-point shooters for this team. 37% three-point shooter. And, Tom, one thing she does very well that not everyone on this North Carolina team does well is shoot free throws.
83% for the season. She's just a good shooter overall. 50% from the floor, and she's a double-digit scorer for the Tar Heels this season for Coach Banghart.
Tar Heels worse in the ACC in free throw percentage. However, they go into that game against Miami 10 for 10.
And it was all in the second half.
Yeah, they needed every one of those to get that win.
They didn't get to the line in the first half. Bonner has nowhere to go. Shot clock is at 8. Williams the entry, and it's poked away. Harris, what anticipation.
I love it. The high side defense in the post. Gets a tip on it and then goes after it.
Arnisalo hands it off. Brooks gave it back to her. Methodical possession, North Carolina. Looking for the 3 ball. Glances off the rim from Henderson. Risch wants it. Risch for 3. Might have been deflected. There was a quick close defensively by Brooks.
Kyla Brooks, one of the freshmen on this team for North Carolina, part of that top 5 recruiting class that they brought in. They've had some great minutes from their freshmen lately. Nyla Brooks, one of those.
This is off for Arnisalo. Goes out of bounds, will stay at this end of the court. You know, when you look at the season for North Carolina, Kelly, the record could be just a little bit better, certainly. 2 overtime games this season. They lost them both at home to Louisville and Stanford.
Yeah, those are not losses that they feel bad about. Certainly they'd love to win, but 2 great opponents. Louisville still has not lost yet in ACC play, although they're in a tight one right now with NC State. We'll get a look at some scores later. And then Stanford, one of those teams that, you know, has played a little up and down, but man, they have some great pieces.
Florida State just one of its last 8 field goal attempts. Davis had it on the inbounds play just a moment ago from Risch. Minute and a half to go in our first quarter. Davis spinning, lets it fly. Uncontested rebound, Carolina.
Yeah, and I think Florida State has to be careful of trying to go one-on-one every time down the floor. Good kick to the shooter, and Brooks on cue makes that 3 look easy.
Nobody makes more, nobody takes more 3-pointers for North Carolina than Nyla Brooks.
Now here's the drive. Rennia Kelly always takes up so much attention on the defensive end, finds Brooks wide open in that transition 3 spot, and she puts it down. Yeah, you mentioned nobody takes more 3s, but she's actually second on the team in field goal attempts. She puts a lot of shots up.
And now Henderson trying to get to the rim. Davis is over the top, pops it around, deflected out. And now Williams, Soleil Williams, off the glass, didn't have the angle on that one. Foul called as Arnisalo hit the floor.
And that is quintessential Soleil Williams basketball right there. Getting the ball in her hands, going all the way to the rim. She doesn't finish. I know she wants that one back. She's one that can put up a lot of points in a hurry, but that is when Florida State's at their best, I believe, is when they're attacking. They can get passes out of the attack, but I think they got to go up. Again, remember, they lead the ACC in free throw attempts. They want to get there.
And again, some of these players might be dealing with a little bit of fatigue and extended first quarter because of a couple of reviews on the clock. And so these players have been out on the court for quite some time now in our first quarter, and we've got 35 seconds to go, Kelly.
Yeah, we talked about transition defense being important for Florida State. Really good job getting back on that rebound. Got into position. North Carolina didn't have anything out of it.
Grant from Henderson. Weak side Davis. And now Williams keeping an eye on that clock. 15 seconds to go in the quarter. North Carolina 17-8 on the road against Florida State. Williams directing traffic. Looking for that Davis screen. Not enough daylight, and now Bonner. And that'll end the first quarter. Florida State just... Toomey, who does it all for North Carolina, second leading scorer, leading rebounder, and shot blocker, is on the bench right now Florida State off the miss from Arnie Salo.
I'd love to see Florida State, attack. That's exactly what I want to see. Get to the rim. But there needs to be more movement on the offensive side. A lot of stagnant players.
Williams with the miss. Florida State shot 14% from the floor as a team in that first quarter. Nowhere to go but up right now as they battle for the loose ball. Noles come away with it with Shavers. Waiting for reinforcements. Opening moments of our second quarter, so glad that you're with us on the CW for ACC Women's Basketball from Tallahassee, Florida. I expect it to be a lot warmer here, Kelly. I don't know about you.
I did not order this weather, Tom. I came from Virginia, where it actually was snowing the day I left on my plane, and thought I was coming in, to Florida. And is it 40 today and raining?
It was just raw out there, and I'm hearing they might see some snow. Inside, though, in the Tucker Center, it is just perfect.
Woo. Yeah, it is. But I don't get many trips down to Florida, and man, I was hoping. Miami, though, sounds like a good place to be, especially come tomorrow night.
Watch out for the shot clock. On the baseline, they're going to beat it. Tisa Cueras with the basket.
Yeah, that's one of the freshmen that has been playing much better as of late in the season. Coming off a game where she had 10 points and 6 boards. She only averages just under 4 a game.
And those 10 points, a season high for Cueras, the freshman from Brazil. And that's out of bounds and to North Carolina.
So here's the drive inside, and then the kick to Cueras on the baseline, knocks it down. Playing with a lot of confidence coming off of that game against Miami. That's what you want to see in your young players. You put them in scenarios where they can be successful. And Cueras, I'm really excited about the upside of this player. Look at that. Held off her defender to grab the ball. Defense picks up a foul. That would have been 2 otherwise.
Fantastic composure being displayed by Cueras. On that last replay, you noticed that she saw the shot clock running down, backed away, created some space, and hit the shot like it was no problem.
Yeah, such a smart player. She's got a great build and physique. Reminds me a lot of India Navarre. So strong, and that's going to help her on the interior.
Says Navarre had it taken away by Williams. On the run, and the kick. Shavers off the rim. Now the trouble. Carolina has the numerical advantage. Navarre trying to do it herself, and she lays it in with the left hand.
I'm so glad Navarre didn't try to pass that off. That's exactly what she should have done. Go up against Emma Risch, one-on-one. Gets foul if she needs to, but puts it in with the left.
North Carolina, one of the better shooting teams in the league. 3rd in the conference. Shavers finally drops in a 3 for Florida State.
Yeah, that was definitely a needed bucket. Off the horn set, screen the screener action. Nobody gets out to the shooter.
First made 3 of the game for Florida State. They're 1 of 6 from beyond the arc, thanks to Shavers.
Cueras!
Again, twisting shot, high degree of difficulty, doesn't stop her.
I put her underneath the bucket every time a shot goes up, and you know what? She's going to get at least a hand on it if she doesn't come up with the rebound.
So impressive for a freshman player in this lineup for North Carolina.
Again, top 5 recruiting class coming in and off the glass. Don't know if she called it, but Jasmine Shavers, second leading scorer on this team, gets herself a bucket.
A 3-pointer, then a field goal off the glass for Shavers. She averages over 12 points per game, as Kelly mentioned, second best on the team. Fight for the loose ball as it goes out of bounds.
And that was Cueras again, please.
North Carolina basketball. Some substitutions entering the game as Kelly comes in for North Carolina. Brooks will get a rest. Bonner back in there for Florida State as well.
I got my eye on 26 in blue. This is fun. Watching a young kid come into her own, and just at the right time, right? As ACC plays, getting started.
Salo misses right to Risch. By the way, Cueras playing in just her 10th game this season, too.
And she may be a little tired. She's looking a little fatigued right now, maybe more minutes in a row than she's used to playing. But you know what? If she's playing like this, I'm keeping her in as well. And Emma Risch with her first bucket in 2 games.
Risch with her 32nd 3-pointer of the season. She shoots 39% from long distance. That's the best on the roster for Florida State.
And it was leading the ACC coming into that game against Pittsburgh. And again, she was 0 for 6 in that one, but she's the player coming from Notre Dame, highly touted out of high school. And this is a good fit for her here.
North Carolina with a 3 from Kelly, deep in the shot clock.
North Carolina's 4th 3 of the game. Kelly, she's ready to go.
She made 4 3-pointers on 5 tries in the win against Miami this week. Florida State has made its last 3 field goal attempts.
Better recovery by Renaya Kelly on that screen-to-screener action off the horns.
They'll go to the corner and Bowles for 3. And the Knowles starting to heat it up.
Nothing better than that. You get the 3 off the top, and then the 3 in the corner makes helping off those shooters a lot more difficult now.
Don't forget they made 19 3-pointers, a school record in a game against Oklahoma in November, and Grant's coming right back at you with a 3-ball for the heels.
Silences the Tucker Center pretty quickly as Lanie Grant with an open look knocks it down.
Grant's made 33s on the season. That's a tough angle shot. Looked like Shavers was looking for a foul, has to hustle back on defense. North Carolina, 42% as a team so far from the floor. And Salo dribbled into a double team, had to retreat. Shot clock's at 8. And Salo with a nifty dribble and a mid-range.
She's such a pure shooter. I mean, her shot is pretty every time it goes up, but she just, I mean, I don't even think she hit the rim on that one.
She was on a UCLA team last year that made the Final Four after the miss. Florida State kept it alive and a foul coming up against North Carolina.
So 5 threes for UNC, 3 threes for Florida State. That one in the corner, a dagger against this North Carolina defense, but they answer with Lanie Grant from the 3-point line.
Pace here in the second quarter, Kelly, from the floor.
Yeah, they've needed to. They only shot 14% in that first quarter. They're at 44% right now for the second quarter alone, 26 for the half. And they're going to call a foul on the screen on Bowles.
And that's the 3rd on Bowles, so she's going to come out of the game and replaced by Soleil Williams.
So Emma Risch trying to use the screen to get open, and Bowles just too much movement. You got to stop, get in position, right?
Oh my gosh.
You know, and if I'm Bowles, then the way I played last game, I want to be on the floor. It was the Bowles and Bonner show. 46 combined points for those two.
And that was a win Thursday at Pitt, the first in ACC play this season for Florida State. After last year, they went 13-5 in conference play, and the ball will be going back to the Knowles.
That's the second 3-second call that we've had in this game, and I believe both were on Kyla Harris.
Williams trying to get to the rim, well defended. Arnisalo, Grant. Shavers defending Grant. About to hit the 3-minute threshold in the second quarter. Kelly directs some traffic. Off the fingertips of Grant. Shot clock now inside of 10. Arnisalo through the defense. Just slicing her way to the rim for 2.
That's pretty. Even just watching her as she got to the rim, just weaving through defenders. It's pretty basketball. I love it.
Such quickness off the dribble for Arnisalo, who can also shoot it. Long rebound to Shavers. Great hustle by Shavers to get to it. And a foul coming up against North Carolina.
Yeah, Lanie Grant just could not get there on the defense. How about this? Look at this. Slicing in between the defenders. Up and in as the shot clock is expiring. What a great play. Arnisalo, a great pickup out of that transfer portal, as you mentioned, UCLA. Played in the Final Four. You talk about experience coming in to your roster. That's a big deal.
Now, wait a minute. You also played in the Final Four, didn't you? Arnisalo Impressive numbers as an addition to this North Carolina roster.
It did, but back then you didn't have a lot of transfers, so
that's true.
You stayed usually at the
to say the least.
Place, right?
It is a different landscape and climate in college athletics.
And I will stop by talking
Big collision in the lane and a traveling violation as Henderson ran into 3 defenders and Williams hit the court.
Well, as well as North Carolina is shooting, and as well as they're doing some other things, like their defense in particular, their turnovers right now are getting them in a bad spot. 10 turnovers already. This first half is not even completed. This is a team that's one of the best in the conference in their assist-to-turnover ratio. They usually take care of the ball.
Yeah, right now, Florida State only has 2 points off of those turnovers as Davis goes flying down the lane, and Harris was shaken up on the play. She's still down. Stay tuned for today's halftime show presented by Intuit TurboTax. We'll go around the ACC. Big weekend next weekend on the CW. ACC men's and women's basketball. CW courtside Saturday. And ACC women's basketball on Sunday. In the first half, highlights and stats from Tallahassee, Florida, as Harris is still on the court for North Carolina. It was Davis who was trying to make the move down the lane for Florida State. The officials are taking a look at it. So that is Tierra Cruz and Jeff Wooten over at the scorer's table. Good to see Harris up and walking towards her bench area under her own strength.
Yeah, we get our benefit of the second look there. It looks like maybe an elbow to the chin.
After the defensive foul stands, the subsequent contact is deemed incidental. It'll be Florida State ball on the baseline.
Incidental contact with 1:53 to go in the quarter.
Well, this is a tough player. I loved watching her at Louisville. Yeah, she gets knocked right in the face, the chin area. But you gotta know, she comes from some good stock. Tom Wormy, her dad, played football for the Minnesota Vikings. And
you say that with such enthusiasm.
It is. And my dad played for the Vikings. They're a little older than her dad, Jeff Seaman, but I remember watching her dad. He was a high draft pick coming into Minnesota. Of course, he left Minnesota, and that's okay. We don't win a lot there, but
yeah, Harris needs 14 points to get to 1,000 for her career. You saw her on the bike just trying to stay loose. She's playing in her 124th collegiate basketball game this afternoon. Final 1:30 and change from the Tucker Center. Toomey. Got it back. Let the defender go on by. Arnie Salo is behind the line. No, it's going to be a 2.
Okay.
They're going to take a look at it.
I like that play by Toomey because she had the shot. But if you look on the floor in personnel, I want Arnie Salo taking that shot as well. Was wide open because of the drive, kicks it out, knocks it down.
It is a 9-0 North Carolina run. Bonner was trying to interrupt it, couldn't do it. Hesitation and drive. Davis held her ground on the drive by Brooks. Shavers off her fingertips, and it rolls out of bounds for the turnover.
And so watch this by Toomey. Toomey actually, you don't see the kick out, but you see Arnie Salo, and that is where they're going to check that to see if it was a 3. Looked like her foot could have been on the line there. She's having a great game, though.
At the moment, North Carolina has 6 made threes, and Florida State has not scored in over 4 minutes in this quarter after they came out flying. Made 4 buckets in a row, including a couple of 3-pointers.
Arnie Salo leading all scorers with 9. Kelly right behind her with 8. Can she add to it?
Kept alive. Henderson off the glass. Talia Henderson, a freshman from Vail, Arizona.
I've really been impressed with the way that North Carolina just doesn't quit on a play. Shot goes up, and they are attacking the offensive glass.
That's now a 12-0 North Carolina run. Knowles holding for the final shot. 8 seconds and rolling down to finish off our second quarter. This will be Shavers. Off the back iron. Chance for Bonner. Got it away and missed the shot.
Some great offensive weapons on this team as well. 6 players average 8 points or more a game, and Florida State goes inside early, and Kubek with the foul and the bucket and the foul.
Kubek, who got in a little bit of foul trouble early in that first half, gets on the board with 2 inside, and she's going to the line.
Yeah, a lot of contact on that one. Kubek does a good job of securing it, going up strong through contact, and misses the free throw. But Florida State with the offensive rebound. What a way to start this half.
That was their first points in about 5 minutes if you go back to the second quarter. Shavers trying to make a move, foul against Florida State.
That's what you don't want, right? Just have a couple great plays in a row. Good attack inside, offensive rebound, and then turn it over off of a foul on a screen.
So Soleil Williams picked up the foul. That was her 3rd. And then at the other end, it's Shavers with a foul. And Williams, again, she's the leading scorer for this team. And Williams has not scored. She's 0 for 5 from the floor.
Yeah, they've got to find a way to get her the ball and get her going offensively. And remember, just 5 points in that game against Pitt. Could not get going offensively. When you're in a drought, you got to put yourself in good situations to score. Right here is where she's at her best, on the move.
Williams, individual maneuver, off the glass and in. That's all you got to do is say somebody's been shut out. And it happens every single time.
Every time.
To the delight of Coach Wyckoff, her leading scorer is on the board. Follow your own miss and lay it in. India Navarre.
Love it. I love the way that play's set up. It starts with Renaya Kelly, who draws the defense. India Navarre wide open for the shot, goes after her miss, puts it in. It's good basketball right here.
This is Bonner. Lost the handle for a moment, steps around the defender, and it bounces off. Excruciating result for the Noles.
Yeah, it's been that kind of day so far. And Florida State stops that pass, but it's a kick ball.
Yeah, Florida State to start the 3rd quarter, just 1 of 6 for Coach Wyckoff. Three straight seasons to the NCAA tournament, including last year. For Coach Wyckoff, her 15th year on staff, and 5th as the head coach. Kelly, too strong. Basket and foul underneath, and what hustle from Harris.
Yeah, great to see her on the floor. Remember, she got hit in the chin, it looked like, earlier at the end of the second quarter. Great to see her back. Look at the attack on the offensive glass. Comes down, secures it, goes up strong, and the foul on Kubek.
And she cannot believe it. Complete disbelief. That's her 3rd personal. Kubek, Williams, and Bowles all have 3 personal fouls for Florida State. Game number 138 in the career for Kubek. The team trying to find an offensive source. Could it be Williams after getting her first basket of the game a moment ago? Fancy dribble and kick. Kubek trying to run it down with Grant. Kubek ended up in out-of-bounds territory under the basket at the other end, North Carolina. Toomey fires away.
That's the benefit of having such great three-point shooters on your roster. I mean, how many times we saw Florida State late to defense, but got there, and so it was just extra passes that found Toomey open on the 3.
Kubek traveled, and the frustrations mount.
We're going to get a look at it here. First, it starts with Renaya Kelly. It always does. The kick from Navarre to Grant to Toomey, and the 3 is good. Some good team offense right there. Such a connected team, this UNC team. They pass well, they play off each other's strengths.
7 made threes in the game now after the 3 from Toomey, her 2nd of the ball game. Harris. Foul called underneath as Williams hit the deck for Florida State. It was Navarre who went down for North Carolina. The foul goes against the Tar Heels.
Yeah, I think Soleil Williams thought that that was going to be on her. It has to be relieved that it's not.
Would have been 4.
Yeah. You just see the frustration right now on the faces of a few of these Florida State players. They put themselves in position for good shots. They've just not been able to knock them down until then.
Williams got a 3.
She's got a headset on, I believe, and she can hear every word we're saying.
Her 35th 3 of the season, leads the team in that category. And career 3, number 104 for Soleil Williams, coming alive in the second half.
We're going to take a look at it. Pass, didn't need a whole lot of space. And by the way, Toomey guarding her. Had she stretched out her arms, it would have made that a very difficult shot. She doesn't. And Williams with the bucket.
That's the thing about Florida State. They can make a quick comeback with that 3-point shot. Toomey, guarded by Bonner, who smothered that shot attempt. Out of bounds to North Carolina.
Really good defense by Bonner there. That's when you know the scouting report, right? You know that Toomey's going to go over her left shoulder toward the bucket. It was right there to get the stop.
Grant trying to get the bounce. Snared away by Shavers. Williams leading into another 3 attempt that was online. Kubek keeps it alive. And now Shavers will take a chance at it. And she's got the 3 ball.
More of that, says Brooke Wyckoff. Started with ball movement, got the ball around the 3-point line and found the open player.
So 5 made 3s in the game now for Florida State, the near turnover. Foul was called on the play against North Carolina.
That's another one on Navarre. That's her 4th. That's when sometimes you just shake your head. I don't know if I, well, no, I don't agree with that. I'm not going to say I don't know if I agree.
We appreciate your honesty, Coach. Williams got the defender in the air, took it right to the T to the D. Knocked around, Harris able to corral it. Feels like the physical nature of play has turned up just a little bit as that one bounces out for Kelly. Bonner on the hustle. Arnie Sallow got back to knock it out of bounds. All kinds of chaos out there.
Yeah, it really is. And it seems like, you know, as you mentioned, it seems like Florida State is stepping everything up just a bit. Offense, defense, pressure, physicality, everything.
They have to at this point?
They have to. But what I want to say is, every time they're doing that, North Carolina is in great position. Even that, they had an offensive look in transition, and then defense gets back to hit the ball out of bounds, and they pick up the offensive foul. I mean, they're connected right now. They're doing the little things to get a win today.
Harris with a spin move around Davis. High level move from Harris inside. 7 points now for Harris. 5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. 19-point halftime lead for Carolina. Toomey blocks that one out of bounds by a driving Williams. And there is a timeout on the floor. All right, catch your breath for just a moment. Courtney Banghart and the Heels trying to win one on the road and out in front of Florida State on the CW.
7 threes and 5 different players have hit a 3 in this game. I like how well they're finding each other in the open spots. They're giving up a good shot for a great shot. And UNC has been effective from that area. 32% from the 3-point line, 44% from the field. Much better scoring percentages. I know Courtney Banghart was not pleased with her last couple games in terms of shooting percentage. Well, they're getting that back.
You can see so far in the second half, they are just 1 of 5 from 3-pointers as Shavers is at the free throw line for Florida State. Jasmine Shavers, senior, Mesquite, Texas. Transfer from Texas Tech. First year in the program at Florida State.
She shoots the 3 ball at a 40% clip. That's fantastic. And for a team that puts it up so often, I imagine she's making a lot of those 3s for her team. They need her a little bit more today. Renee Kelly, though, from the 3-point line.
And her teammates reacted as if they knew it was going in as soon as it left her hand.
That's how I feel with her right now as well. She's in a zone. Again, riding the wave from the Miami game. Career high for her.
Bowles misses the turnaround and it goes out of bounds.
It is safe to say Renaya Kelly's back. And I think that means something for this North Carolina team, and that's actually quite an understatement, because they are so much better when she is playing at her best, and that means not just a pass-first point guard. The fact that she's scoring and looking for her own shot, it only opens up players around her.
You mentioned the 24 points in the game against Miami at home. She's the first North Carolina player this season on this team to score 20 or more in a game. That's got to be a good sign for North Carolina.
That's a great sign. It's also a crazy stat, and again, it speaks to the continuity on this team. So many different players can score, and that's another one we highlighted in the open. Nyla Harris on that offensive rebound and bucket.
Harris is up to 9 points in the game, 3 of 4 from the floor. Kelly's in double digits. Shavers also in double digits for Florida State. She's got 10 as the leading scorer, and Kelly's got a steal. They go inside to Harris. Great hustle down the floor to get the proper positioning.
Yeah, it was a second late, I thought, but that just tells you how Florida State was not hustling back on defense. They were still able to make it. North Carolina putting themselves into good position to pick up a victory today. North Carolina on a 7-0 run.
He's a cop, she's a con. Together, they're unstoppable. CW's hit series Wildcards returns with an all-new season. Don't miss Wildcards. Season 3 premiere Monday, January 26th, 8/7 Central, right here on the CW. Sometimes we get referred to as Wildcards, Dale. You are
I don't think I'm not a cop.
No, you are
right?
definitely a wild
You're not
card.
a cop.
You are a wild card.
Uh-huh.
All right, Florida State needs to chisel into this lead. Risch for 3. This is going to help.
In rhythm, coming off the screen. More of that, Emma Risch. I like it.
You mentioned before one of the top 3-point shooters by percentage in all of the ACC. Emma Risch, the junior from Melbourne, Florida.
And now Florida State in their zone. I like the adjustment by Coach Wyckoff.
They look into the corner for Kelly. And she traveled. Turnover back to Florida State.
So the change-up in defense causes a turnover for North Carolina. But this looked good. The screen off the ball. Emma Risch comes to the ball, catches, release, 3.
Risch was a transfer from Notre Dame, spent 2 years in South Bend. First year in the Florida State program for Emma Risch.
She was injured through a lot of that time at Notre Dame. I don't think ever really got into the rhythm that she wanted. But I do like this environment for her here at Florida State. I think it gives her a lot of time to be on the floor utilizing her 3-point ability.
Miss from Green from long range, who did have a double-double this season, the first of her career against Florida A&M. The Rattlers, 14 points, 10 boards, Tatum Green. Florida State coming up empty at the offensive end, trying to defend against North Carolina. Out in front. Arnie Salo, contested 3. Toomey over the top. Toomey got it and scored, dominating the boards.
And that is something you can give up in a zone, is the offensive rebound. But even still, we've been seeing, zone or not, North Carolina is going after it.
Williams. Foul in the aftermath after the miss by Williams.
I think Treadwell was hit in the back by Toomey. I saw it from here. And that's the offensive rebound by Toomey on the possession prior.
Double figures in scoring for her 13 times this season. She's second on the team in scoring, first in rebounding, and now Treadwell is at the line for Florida State. Nobody makes more free throws per game as a team than the Noles. They make 15 per game. There are some good metrics, certainly. Record maybe does not reflect that at 6-12 and 1-5 in the ACC.
Can we talk about free throws for just 1 second? And I don't want to jinx anything right now. But again, 10 for 10, North Carolina in their last game. They are 5 for 5 from the free throw line today, Tom. Can we do it twice?
Shooting 47% as a team.
From the field, yes.
Yes.
At 100% right now.
Exactly.
Free throw line.
I figured everybody could handle the 5 for 5 match. Out of bounds, and that is...
Carry the one.
Yeah. Back to Florida State. North Carolina 1-1 on the road in ACC play. Overall, they are 2-2 away from Chapel Hill, North Carolina for the season, and 14-5. Florida State looking for its first home win in ACC play. Williams. And a foul against Florida State.
Yeah, that's on Treadwell. They said she moved on that screen. And I know she's frustrated. I think it was more of like a rub screen, and unfortunately just too much contact up top.
Florida State All-American Brooke Wyckoff on the bench for the Noles. She had over 1,300 points in her career, 13th in school history. Inside Harris. Treadwell was there, trying to spark something on the defensive end with the block of Harris.
That was an important block, because had she not blocked that, the North Carolina bench would have been up and cheering. Because of that pass, by the way, that was a beautiful pass, but Treadwell with the rejection.
But that's how you defend without fouling. Hold that column straight up with the arms, and she got a piece of the basketball as well with a clean defensive play. Toomey with the kick out. Three-pointer bouncing off for Brooks.
Toomey's such a smart player. I mean, you see her communicating with her guards. She gets the ball in the paint. She kicks it out to her shooter, reposts, and then asks for the ball back, and then sees that she's got a shooter open on the far corner, or on the far wing, kicks it. She just, I mean, again, going back to what I mentioned in, I believe it was maybe the first quarter, that conversation with Courtney Banghart, she and I both were talking about how great that kind of story is. You know, when you stay in a program, you develop, you get better. Ciera Toomey, she's getting her time thanks to the time she has put in this UNC program.
Williams now. Final 40 seconds of the third quarter. Turns it over. Potential 3-on-2. And that ball was kicked. And you saw Nyla Brooks. She was pointing up like she wanted an alley-oop of some sort. I like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't love a bounce pass in that scenario, especially when you know who you've got running the lane.
Salo almost had it poked away by Bonner. Now takes it to the basket. Treadwell is there for the help. Rish stepping into the three. Angular rebound, Arnie Salo.
Ah, looked good too.
Tar Heels at the other end, foul called. As that was Nyla Brooks, who absorbed the contact and will stride to the free throw line for North Carolina.
You gotta love that about the pace you play at. Missed shot on one end turns into a 2-on-1 in transition.
North Carolina coming into this game, Kelvin, and you've talked about how they shot their free throws in their previous game and how they're shooting them today. 18th in the conference, 64%.
Yeah, that's last.
Yes. 18 teams strong in the ACC.
Okay, we're 8 for 8, Tom.
This week, CW Courtside Saturday returns with a can't-miss doubleheader. First, Virginia Tech heads to Louisville to take on the number 20 Cardinals. Then in Game 2, Wake Forest heads to Cameron Indoor to take on freshman sensation Cameron Boozer and number 6 Duke. CW Courtside Saturday this week, 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific. It's only on the CW. We'll be headed back to Louisville for yet another edition of CW Courtside Saturday. Today, the women take center stage here on a Sunday in the ACC. We are one of 7 games as that one rims out on the runner right at the horn by Nyla Brooks. So after 3, it is
second chance points. I mean, that's the game right there. 18-8 points in the paint. They've dominated 22-8. 13 assists on 22 made field goals. Doing everything right.
North Carolina starts in possession of the ball in our final quarter. Harris on the block, draws a lot of defensive attention. Shot clock melts down to 11, and a travel will give it back to Florida State. If you're looking for a little positive momentum, there you go with a turnover to start the quarter for the Noles.
I was just about to say that I was impressed with the North Carolina offense. So much movement. Everybody had touched the ball at least once, some a couple times, and then they turn it over late in the shot clock.
Shavers is the leading scorer with 10 points so far in the game. Three-point attempt miss from Mari Girton. A couple of players hit the deck in the process.
That's always unfortunate, and it happens every time. Somebody falls to the ground, and then somebody falls over them, and that is indeed a foul on them, even though there's nothing they can do.
Mari Girton, who took that last shot, seeing her first action and play in her 13th game this season. Unfortunately, Florida State 6 of 20 from long distance in this game. Turnaround from Harris, textbook play.
I like the opportunity, though, for other players right now to get some playing time. Start developing your bench a little bit, as it looks like Brooke Wyckoff is doing.
13 points now for Kyla Harris. She is the leading scorer for North Carolina. Shavers comes back with a 3 to match the jersey number. So Shavers now has 3 made threes on 7 attempts for Florida State. 33 made threes on the season. How about Shavers? She's got 177 career-made three-pointers.
Wow.
Jaw-dropping numbers from Jasmine Shavers, the senior.
And then they get a stop with the block. Florida State.
Three-point shot is their thing. Second in the conference in made threes. Just over 8 per game. They've got 7 so far. Just over 8 minutes to go in our final quarter. Shavers had it poked away on his solid defending. Shot clock's at 5. Bonner trying to beat it. Steps into the lane. Lays it up and it falls with the help of some gravity.
And I love that shot for Bonner. Love that it went in for Florida State. But it honestly makes me think about the fact that we haven't seen a ton of that. And that's to North Carolina's credit. They have defended Florida State very well, knowing their tendencies to get around. They'll get around their defender all the way to the rim. Yeah, that's an over and back call.
On Bonner.
Right in front of us.
Had her career high with 22 points in the win at Pitt on Thursday. Had 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Stuffed the stat sheet for the senior. Transfer from Cal. Grant wants it. Pass was not in the shooting pocket. She took a dribble and nailed it.
Was just about to comment on that, right? Bad pass makes the shot unavailable, but you know what? Poor defense makes it wide open.
9 made threes in the game for North Carolina. They made 14 at the Cancun Challenge against Kansas State to tie a school record. In fact, they won all 3 games at the Cancun Challenge for North Carolina early in the season.
Now here's the kick out. So bad pass, and then I know that's a zone, so you bump. That is what the wing does. You bump to the guard who's supposed to take over, but no guard actually comes and defends. So Lanie Grant just wide open to adjust the ball in her hands, put it up and in.
How about Lanie Grant, the sophomore? In 2024, the Virginia High School Player of the Year. Number 0 in Carolina Blue. Last year was an ACC all-freshman selection. And the trajectory of her play just continues in a positive direction.
And she was supposed to be a senior in high school last year. She reclassed so that she could come into North Carolina early. Usually you see that the opposite way, right? To get older. She comes in and plays her freshman season on the all-freshman team. And you can see even just that communication, right, between coach and guard. She's a sponge, and she's got a great relationship with her head coach. Her head coach has a lot of faith in her as only a sophomore. She gets a lot of playing time out there, number 0.
2 of 5 from three-point distance. That represents all of her shot attempts so far in the game, and 6 points for Grant, who averages almost 9 points per.
And if you watch Lanie Grant at all times, she is in a shooting pocket. She's got her hands in ready for the catch. She's got her knees bent. Should she get a pass at any time, she's ready to go.
Girton on the hustle. She got bumped. Looked like it was Henderson defending her. Florida State maintains possession. Salo goes to the bench for North Carolina.
Stashkova into the game for the first time for North Carolina.
Lisa Stashkova from Moscow, Russia. Played professionally there as well. Freshman in the program for North Carolina, number 5. Treadwell cleans up the mess. Avery Treadwell, the junior from Knoxville, Tennessee. Stashkova. Knocked away and picked up by Toomey.
Wasn't supposed to be a pass, but I think Navarro will get credited with that assist to Toomey inside.
14 points for Toomey, leads the way in scoring for North Carolina. 5 of 7 from the floor and a couple of threes. Tough shot from Bowles. Foul will go against the Tar Heels. I believe they called it on Stashkova. Treadwell to the bench for Florida State. And Bonner rolls off the edge of the rim for Bonner. Duvar, fancy between the legs dribble, slips down as she ran into 3 defenders. And foul coming up against Florida State. It was Bonner on the foul. So Bonner goes out, Williams comes in. Difficult day for Brooke Wyckoff and the Florida State Seminoles. Outscored 17-8 in the opening quarter. Behind the 8 ball immediately. Grant from the other side.
And this just goes back to knowing personnel, knowing the scout. We mentioned early on Florida State, the worst in the conference at defending in terms of percentage and points allowed. And in particular on the three-point line, they're also 18th at defending the three-point line, 18th in the conference of 18.
Kubek shaken up for Florida State.
So here's the screen and then the re-screen. And that is on, I thought certainly by watching the replay, that was on Kubek. I thought she moved. Correct. Ball will stay with Florida State.
Quick 3 fouls on Henderson. Knowles with the basketball and Williams. Soleil Williams, who came into this game as the leading scorer for Florida State. 15.6 points per game. 8th in the ACC for Williams. 5 points, Kelly. 2 of 11 shooting. And just 1 of 4 on 3-pointers for Williams. Had her career high 28 points against Virginia this season. Grant. They're looking like layups now.
Lanie Grant, 4 of 7 from the three-point line for 12 points. All of her points. Actually doesn't even have an attempt from the 2.
That's an 8-0 run over the last minute and change for North Carolina. Just piling on. What a performance by the Tar Heels on the road. And this kind of performance can go a long way. I don't care who the competition is. When you go on the road in the ACC and do this, it's impressive.
And North Carolina doesn't let up. They're going to call a foul on defense. And Lanie Grant showing us why her team has been so connected on the offensive end. 4 of 7 from the three-point line for her. 9 threes.
And
11.
you're watching CW Women's Hoops, presented by Allstate. Progressive offers 24/7 protection when you bundle auto, home, and motorcycle. Learn more at progressive.com.
Well, look at the numbers. Ciera Toomey, it says it all. I love the way that she's been playing outside and inside. She's attacking, staying active on the glass. She has lived up to the hype today going into this game. She needed to dominate that inside position. She was able to do that. She defended well. She is a bright star for this North Carolina team. I like her game. I like what's ahead of her. Really, really good player.
She is one of 4 players to get to double digits in the game today for North Carolina. Toomey for the 13th time this season, double digits in scoring.
Their team has so much depth. North Carolina has just one starter on the floor right now in India Navarre.
They work it to the corner for the 3 attempt from Ostashkova. Girton, other end. Inside of 4 minutes to go. Rish the miss from 3. Kubek tries to keep it alive. Look, Kelly, I don't care what the score is. Effort and intensity,
Yeah.
you have to try to maintain that, and that's what Coach Wyckoff is certainly looking for at this juncture.
Well, she is a seasoned veteran in this game. As a player, you've already mentioned it, 01 grad from Florida State, dominated 1,300 points in her career, and then to be an assistant under Sue Semrau for so many years, and then to take over this program. She is a fantastic coach, knows the game, is a player's coach too, and you see that, you know, when we watch shoot around today, she's having fun with them. She's teaching them. She knows exactly what she needs from them, but she also knows what it's like to have been in this spot.
Her first year here at Florida State was 1997. Sue Semrau's first year as the Florida State head coach, and she took over for the legend some 5 years ago.
I loved.
You know Sue is watching from somewhere.
Yeah, probably not in Seattle.
Overly excited.
Yeah,
not overly excited about the result today, but hopefully there's some positives that can be extracted from the afternoon.
I'll tell you what, I almost went. Sue Semrau was an assistant at Wisconsin, and she recruited me heavily, and as did Jane Albright, who I adore. Who may also be watching. She's a Florida State fan. Great inside look and finish.
Blanca Thomas, sophomore from Charlotte, North Carolina. 6'5" on the inside, and she's got 2, and the bench responded after Blanca got that bucket. That means she's right on her average of 2.1 points per game as she sees action in her 11th game this season.
And she's going to pick up that foul right there. But going back to Sue, I was just going to say, in terms of relational, I almost said yes to Wisconsin because of that relationship with Sue Semrau and just how she recruited me, and that's what she did here. She was a mentor for Brooke Wyckoff, and her name, as you said, is up in these rafters. Done some incredible things, and I know Brooke is so thankful for that tutelage. This is a program they have built. You know, Sue Semrau started and handed it off, and they have had a lot of success here at Florida State.
19 times to the NCAA tournament for Florida State. For North Carolina, 32 times, the most of any team in the ACC in 6 of the last 7 years. Of course, COVID interrupted everybody's season.
Yes. You know I needed to talk about her, Tom Wormy.
Jordan Zubich, who wears number 1, continuing the lineage from Minnesota.
Thank you very much. Taylor Coonan was number 1. And then you had
Alyssa
Aspie. I couldn't think of her first name.
That's okay.
Who's now, by the way, playing basketball in Italy, having the time of her life. And now Jordan Zubich comes in, another Minnesotan. I'm an Edina, Minnesota grad, so it's deep love for my state.
We were talking about your collegiate decision. I think ultimately you made the right one. 2001 champs. Although Zubek is down and in serious pain.
She is in a lot of pain.
Thomas, 34.
Yeah.
I think she said 31 as Kubek went back to the locker room. Treadwell's at the line.
We're hearing from the official the verbiage was unnecessary and excessive. And that can happen a lot in those slip moves.
So that was elevated to F1 status under that terminology. 1:16 and rolling to go. And North Carolina on its way to win number 15 this season after winning 29 games a season ago.
That's impressive.
To the Sweet 16. Ended up losing to Duke in Birmingham, Alabama after wins against Oregon State and West Virginia. And just to finish the point about your collegiate decision, we congratulate you. Last week, your 2001 national championship team was honored as Notre Dame was playing North Carolina. And I think the slogan that year, what was it? Get the ball to Ruth?
To Ruth Wren.
Pretty sure.
I mean, that was my...
Must have been great to go back.
That's what Muffet told me.
Must have been great to go back and be honored in that fashion.
25 years.
Amazing.
Can you believe that? 25
Amazing.
years since that time. First national championship for Notre Dame. Of course, they had another one, highlighted by Enrique Gumbuale and others.
Risch with 30 seconds to go. That's a difficult shot for Risch. So Risch to double digits. She and Shavers got to double figures with Florida State. Shavers leading the way with 15 points and currently on the bench with just 15 seconds to go. Sydney Barker in there, number 15. Oh, that's a 3-ball. The Mostashkova.
She had missed her last two. Nice to get that one to fall.
That's her first 3 of the season for the freshman from Russia. And that'll do it. 82-55 is the final, and really, North Carolina left little doubt in this one, Kelly.
Yeah, it held true to the stats, to be honest, coming into this one. North Carolina, one of the best